Good evening and welcome to a sun-drenched LIT Gaelic grounds for the Bon Secours Hospital County Senior Hurling Championship final. Doon in Na Piarsaigh, the showpiece event on the club hurling front, and joined by Jerome O'Connell, my colleague and the Limerick leader. Jerome, I suppose a year like no other, and fantastic conditions for the county final.
Yeah, it's incredible, just ideal conditions here for hurling right now. Throwing is going to be 7:30, so obviously, a floodlit final, obviously live on television, but from a player's point of view, it looks like it's going to be great conditions. There is a bit of a breeze here, which will be telling, and right now it's blowing to the Cardavan end, which isn't the norm here in the LIT Gaelic grounds, but it's a breeze that's worth a couple of points, so it'll be interesting to see how that plays out once the ball is thrown in.
And I suppose for the 200 lucky souls, must be delighted to get a chance. The fact there will be supporters here, albeit not as many as either club would like.
Yeah, a pre-final boost, I suppose, for both teams with government plan on Tuesday. I've absolutely no doubt it's been a headache for the two club secretaries and the county secretary for the last number of days distributing the tickets. But fair is fair. The club season ticket holders were getting first choice on their tickets, and it also ensured that the two extended panels were going to be able to get into the game, because with just 40 tickets per club, as it was before this for your players, management and clubs officials, I know that Doon had to leave some players, technically they were on their senior hurling panel at home for the semi-final. So yeah, it's good news for everyone. Look, obviously there's more people who would want to come to a county hurling final, but at least it will create a little bit of atmosphere, and I think we saw that on Wednesday night with the Premier Minor Hurling final here, that even the 200 supporters did create that little bit of atmosphere.
I suppose injuries are part and parcel of hurling, and both sides are without key players, very recognisable names, household names.
Yeah, household names. It's incredible maybe that they're missing such big names, and obviously Na Piarsaigh were always going to be without Shane Dowling for this championship, and in the early rounds then they lost Conor Houlihan to injury as well, who had been wing back for them, and in the semi-final the last day they lost Kevin Downs to an early hand injury. We didn't know how he was all week, but he's not named in the match programme, not named amongst the subs, and I think it always was a bit of a race against time for him to be fit, but it would appear that he won't be fit now. And then on the other side you have Richie English, who again, like Shane Dowling, was always going to be missing for doing this championship, but to lose Dara Donovan on top of that was a huge blow to them. But the way that they grouped together and came through the last game and a half without both Dara and Richie has been huge for Doon. Dara Donovan is named amongst the subs, but then again he also was in the semi-final and he wasn't available, so it'll be interesting to see on that one. But at the moment it does look like both teams will be without a number of star men.
If we look at the paths to the final tonight, I mean, the Piarsaigh bouncing back after losing their first game, and given the structure of the championship with the two group games, the manner in which they've rebounded from that, the way they've come back from losing that first game against Kilmarnock.
Yeah, at 9 o'clock tonight we might be doing interviews after the game, and they'll be saying how perhaps that game was the making of them, that it was the wake-up call that they needed. They looked very sluggish that night. Now they met a very impressive Kilmarnock side on the night, but Piarsaigh didn't look their normal selves, but I think we saw it straight away the following week against Dahan, and then to come back in the semi-final or quarter-final against Ballybrown, and a semi-final against Patrickswell. They look really, really hungry again. Huge intensity, huge work rate, and there's absolutely no doubting the hurling they have and the experience they have. To me, I thought they looked really, really bang on in that semi-final the last time against Patrickswell. So it just shows that they really did regroup after that first round loss, and I think they've improved game on game from till now at least.
And Doon then as well, I mean, they really showed their championship winning credentials that night against Patrickswell here, where they played out a draw, and will feel unlucky maybe that they didn't win the game.
Yeah, they drew both their group games, which I suppose in another year, without a win you wouldn't have got through, but given the reduced structure this year, it was enough to get them into the knockout stages. And as you said, that Patrickswell game, at the time Patrickswell were the champions, and they bossed them around the field for much of it, and would have went into the knockout stages on a real high. Then they found themselves 5 or 6 points down against South Liberties, and they were really, really flat. Next thing they lost Dara Donovan to injury, and you're starting to think this could be exit doors here for Doon, but they really grouped together at that point. There was a water break midway through that first half against South Liberties, and from then on they haven't looked back, and that's without two of their main players. But against Liberties and against Kilmallock the last day, really, really strong spread across the field. I think a lot of other players really stepped up when Dara went off.
I suppose Na Piarsaigh are the bookies' favourites to win tonight, given given their, the experience they have of winning county finals and the, their squad depth. Do you think have Doon the ability to cause an upset here?
I think they do. I mean, Na Piarsaigh were the favourites from the very outset, and just marginally ahead of Patrick Swell, and Doon were third in the betting. It's not as if Doon are the rank outsiders here. They were third in the betting from the off. It's a repeat of the final of 2 years ago. I just hope that we don't look back afterwards and just say, what if they had, a fully fit Richie English and Dara Donovan. You can say the same for Na Piarsaigh, maybe what if Shane Dowling and Kevin Downs, but I think Dara and Richie would be two bigger figures for Doon. They have 3, maybe 4 sometimes county players. Na Piarsaigh have 6 or 7 or 8 county players, so I think it's a bigger thing for Doon. But across the field, what it means for the Piarsaigh is they really have 2 inexperienced players coming into their team in Adam McNamara, if they start the way we think, and William Hayne as well, who won't be looking to win first senior titles on the field of play. And they don't have a huge, which sounds strange, they don't have a huge reservoir in their subs, because I think there's probably going to be 4 subs named tonight that are due to start tomorrow for their intermediate team. So it'd be very, very strange for them to use one of those. That be it, if they're down the home stretch and they need a sub, they're going to have to throw them in. But it would be really, really, maybe unlucky on someone. I'm not sure if you'd really want to make your senior debut in a county final and miss out in a county intermediate final in the following day. It will be a strange one to watch as the game goes on. But certainly the Doon bench, surprisingly enough, they probably have that little bit more experience on their bench.
Hesitant vote for Na Piarsaigh?
I think Na Piarsaigh, if Na Piarsaigh perform the way we've seen them in their quarter-final and semi-final, they worked really, really hard. Their intensity levels were really, really strong, and it was the spread of scorers as well. We've seen Peter Casey shoot the light outs in the quarter-final and was quiet in the semi-final in terms of scoring. Conor Boylan was busy in the quarter-finals, quiet in the semi, and we haven't really seen Adrian Breen burst onto the scoring yet in the last 2 games at least, and he could have a big night tonight. David Dempsey has been the consistent for him. It'll be interesting to see where he lines out, because he's been between centre and full forward. But I think if Na Piarsaigh are right, I think it would take something really, really, really special from Doon to deny him. And Doon are a side that don't have experience to fall back on. They're trying to win their first title. Na Piarsaigh are appearing in their 9th final of the last 12 years. They've got players that have played in all 9 finals. So take something really special from Doon. They were special, no doubt about it. They were really good the last day against Patrick Swell, against Kilmallock. But it would take that performance and a bit more to beat Na Piarsaigh.
Okay, Jerome O'Connell tipping Na Piarsaigh to come through in tonight's final. To see if he was right, log on to the Limerick Leader website, www.limerickleader.ie, for Jerome's full match analysis at full time, and follow @Jerome Sport for Twitter updates throughout the evening. And don't forget coverage of the County Senior Hurling Final in Monday's tabloid edition of the Limerick Leader, and next week's County edition, where Jerome will analyse where it went right and where it went wrong for both teams.